Hello, I'm Jim O'Brien with Own Guard Solutions, and I wanted to come on here real quickly and talk a little bit about Western North Carolina and making donations if you can. You would pretty much have to be living under a rock right now if you haven't heard or be aware of the damage, the horrific damage and loss that's been had in Western North Carolina. Last Saturday, I took a day trip up to Bryson City, specifically the Nantahala Outdoor Center, which has a Bryson City address. So I wanted to come on here and tell you what I know based on my limited experience, my very limited experience of Western North Carolina, give you some updates on roadways, activities, and just overall conditions of things. And before we get started, I'll say anything that I mention in here, I have no ties with or affiliations with, other than I just really enjoy being up in that part of the country. And I'll say, starting out too, that while Western North Carolina overall was heavily impacted by Hurricane Helene, I have to say that the westernmost corner of the state was largely missed. And so they were very fortunate. So knowing that I was going to be going on this day trip, I decided to take some donations with me, and we'll talk about that coming up. So first, some road condition updates. I'll tell you that 441 coming out of Atlanta or north of Atlanta, 441, 23, whatever it is up that far, is wide open, business as usual, up to, and as best I can tell, well beyond Franklin, North Carolina on that side. Through Franklin, NC 28, there's 18 miles of pretty exciting roadway there running out of Franklin, North Carolina, up to Highway 19. I believe it's Highway 19 and 74. And then from 19 on up to at least the NOC, the Nantahala Outdoor Center, and well beyond based on the traffic that I saw while we were floating down the river. Is wide open. Now it seemed like I remember along 28 and or 19 at points, there were a couple of large hardwood trees that likely had fallen across the road at some point, but those have long since been cleared up. And if you didn't see the remainder of the trunk cut up, you would have never seen anything at all on the roads. It was like nothing came through there with the exception of those couple of trees. And I will say too that I saw a lot of bucket trucks going up and down, more up 19 than anything. And I know those folks have been working overtime and super hard. So thanks to them for all they've done. And there's certainly, I mean, there was a whole convoy of bucket trucks at one point going up 19 there, and saw them intermittently throughout the time that I was on the river. So the NOC is good. The roads getting up there, at least from Atlanta, are good. Most of everything I think was more towards, well, I know it was more towards Asheville, and then a lot of surrounding cities were just horrifically devastated. So one of the things that I wanted to do, knowing that I was going to be going to North Carolina, is take some donations. And interestingly enough, I learned that the NOC was collecting donations, which was fantastic. And again, I have no ties or affiliations to the NOC or the charity, but I will tell you, speaking to a member of the NOC staff, that apparently they've connected with an organization called Hearts with Hands. And I'll put that URL here, and I'll put it again down in the post or description area as well for you. But Hearts with Hands is, I guess, working with the NOC to collect those donations. If you go to their website, they have a whole list of the things that they really need the most. And so it was great to be able to take some items to the NOC, and they actually had an NOC van there set up to receive those items. So I put my stuff personally into the back of that van, which was really nice. And so, you know, if I wanted to come on here quickly just to tell you that if you were planning a trip to that area, that part of North Carolina, you're probably good to go. I do know as of this morning, there's still a road. The Blue Jay's really making itself known. I will tell you that in Bryson City, there's an Old River Road section that's still closed up. I learned that and there seems to be maybe some mixed signals, but I'll say that I think it's open again. The road to nowhere in Bryson City is open again. I know it was closed there for a while. Old River Road is closed for sure. And then I read this morning that the section of 28 from Tennessee into North Carolina is closed because they're trying to keep the big 18-wheeler trucks off of it. And so I believe they closed it on October 7th, and it's going to reopen, I believe, at some point in the afternoon of October 31st. But my point is if you're planning to travel to that part of North Carolina, you're pretty much good to go, I think it's safe to say. I would certainly check for yourself ahead of time before making plans, but if you want to get to the NOC, you better do so now because their last day of operations is October 31st. I can also tell you too for certain that, because I saw it running, that the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad is operational and running. I saw it pass by the NOC Saturday morning, and I think they have trips all the way through to at least December 24th. That bird's really proud of himself. So the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad is running until December 24th. So yeah, if you have any plans to get to that part of North Carolina, I'd recommend it. And I would also recommend ahead of time, even if it's not the NOC, spend a minute, get online, find out if there's any donation centers receiving donations before you go, and try to take a donation with you as you go on your trip. And with that, thanks for watching. You can probably see I've got my tent out here airing out. I'm getting ready to take a big camping trip to the North Georgia mountains this weekend, spend some time in this cooler fall weather as it's campfire season. Anyway, be sure and subscribe and like us here and follow us and share this video with anyone you think might like to see it or might have plans to get to Northwest North Carolina. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.